let's get this party started. It is the Thursday Easy Pay testimonial call. I'm very excited for tonight's guest. I know a couple people are trickling in right now. So tonight's call, if you're not already with Easy Pay, or if this is your first Easy Pay testimonial call, we bring people on, new sales partners that are having success, so they can kind of share their experience so far with Easy Pay, what they've gotten here, what's working for them, and all of that stuff. Some testimonial calls will bring on industry vets, and they'll talk about, the life that they've created thanks to this industry. And sometimes we'll bring people on that are flat out not even in the industry. They're just winners, right? Like we'll bring on Ironmans and talk to them about the mindset of winning and pushing hard and just winning habits, okay? So tonight we've got a special guest who is having success here with Easy Pay. We're gonna let him kind of share his story. And I just also want to point out that these calls, they're completely unscripted, okay? Our guest has no idea what questions are coming. I never let the guest on these calls know what's coming, because we want just a raw, honest, God honest truth from our guest on these calls here, so that you guys can get a real inside look at what we're doing, what's working, and just have a real call, right? That's one of the biggest compliments we get at Easy Pay is it's just genuine, okay? So it's a completely unscripted call. So tonight we've got Jim Mullins. There he is.
There we go.
All right. What's going on, Jim? How you doing, my friend?
Man, I'm doing great. How about you?
I'm doing well. I'm excited to have you on tonight's call. This is always the first goal, like we tell people when they come on. Like, the goal is to be on tonight's call, because that means you wrote your first deal. And I'm going to kind of give the backstory that you didn't write your first deal in the first week. I think it's probably your third week, but you just knocked down 3 deals in the last 48 hours. So he got invited onto this call yesterday after he wrote the first one. And then he wrote, did you do 2 more today, or is that what you finished with?
2 today. Yeah.
All right. So you've got 3 under your belt. Awesome, man. So let's just kind of get into this. Give everyone kind of your background. You've been in sales? I kind of have an idea what your background is, but let's just lay the foundation. Who are you? Where are you from? What's your background before getting into merchant services?
Well, I was in the car business for 30 years. Literally started in high school, selling cars. Started selling cars when I was 17 years old, and was in sales pretty much for the last 30 years in the auto industry. I sold cars, pretty much all to my early 20s. Worked my way into the finance department in the dealership, which is even harder sales. It's a harder thing to do, but worked for many years doing that. And in the last several years, I was actually a salesperson selling things to dealers. And so, I was on the road all the time, walking in, basically what we do every day now, but just to car dealers. And really got burnt out on the car industry and was sick and tired of it, and just needed a change and walked away from it a couple of years ago.
Yeah. 30 years, man. That's an entire career. It
is. Yeah.
That's phenomenal. So why did you get out of it? Yeah. I mean, burned out, I'm sure doing anything for 30 years, obviously. That's a long time to be doing any one thing, but you didn't get out of sales. You just wanted to get out of cars. So why did you get out of cars, and how did you find merchant services, just in general, merchant services?
Well, I got out of the business because, number one, I was just tired of it, the grind of it. The industry is a grinding industry. It's a time-consuming hours. I made very good money in the car business, but I had no life, And even the last several years I was in it, I was actually a 1099 employee. I worked for myself, basically. Wow. But that industry is just a grind, and I was just sick of it. So, I walked away from it a couple of years ago and didn't know what I was going to do. And for the last couple of years, I just kind of floundered around and basically survived doing different things and trying to figure out what I wanted to do.
Selling this and selling that kind
of. Doing gig work. I just did whatever till I trying to find out what I wanted to do. And I found you. I found you on YouTube, about 6 months ago.
And sales, sorry to cut you off before we get into Easy Pay and merchant sales, but sales is such an amazing skill, because once you can sell, you can make a living. You can go anywhere. Like you just said, even if it's just bouncing around, when you're a producer in sales, I don't care what your product is, sales makes the world go round. We are the economy. If products don't move, there ain't no money moving. And that is the economy. And every product that's sold, somebody sold it, right? One way or the other. It got into the grocery store somehow. It got onto the car lot somehow. It got into the business somehow. Somebody had to sell it. It is the most important skill in the world. And you've been in it for 30 years. So before we even get into Easy Pay, when you found merchant sales just in general, did you know that, like, all right, this makes sense, or what drew you to it? Why did it make sense? And why are you like, this is what I'm going to do?
Just the more I watched what you put out there on YouTube, I literally dug in and just really followed. I watched all of the stuff you have out there. And the more I watched it, I was like, this is it. I mean, I know this is it. I have found what I'm going to do. And,
Awesome.
of course I reached out and got hooked up with you, and, and literally just, I came on board literally right before Christmas.
Yeah.
And I really literally didn't even really get started till the first week of January. So I'm really just into this like 2 weeks.
Yeah, you're really just getting started. So as much as that's music to my ears, I don't just love this industry, I'm obsessed with it. Like, I'm trying to tell the whole world, anyone in sales, this is the greatest industry that exists. So I already know that, obviously. What was it, not necessarily about me, but what was it that I was putting out there, or what was it that is like, this is it? Because that's a big claim when you look at it and you're like, this is it. If I focus on this, what was it that got you to commit at that level, or that has you sold that this is it?
With what you were putting out there, I could just see plainly, you can go out here and build this business if you work at it and you really stick to the fundamentals, and you do it, and you do what you're putting out there. You've done this, and through trial and error, you're basically are giving us what you've already gone through, all the trial and error, and what a jump started it gives us. If you're getting into this industry, you've got such a jump start, because we don't have to go through all the trial and errors to learn all the stuff that you are teaching us, and so it convinced me, like, at my age, I'm 53 years old, and I'm kind of starting another career at 53 years old. And I can see plainly that I can build something very relatively quickly that takes years and years and years and years, like a 30-year career. You work somewhere 30 years and retire. You can do this for 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 years and be free and be way ahead of the game financially.
You'll be way ahead in 2-3 years, and we're 3 years at a job. You'd be way ahead, man. Assuming you can do it, obviously. So cash flow. What do you think about residuals? Okay, you've spent 30 years. I talk about this, the greatest industry that exists, and that I always attach specifically for salespeople, right? Like, I believe it's the greatest ever, but not everyone's into sales, right? And sales is not for everybody. But there are going to be people on this call now, and there's going to be a lot more people that listen to the recording that might be selling a product without residuals, right? You did it yourself for 30 years. So does that play a part in, like, this is it? Or how do you feel about, now that you're selling a product that you're going to be financially compensated for years to come after? Relate that to the 30 years you've put into sales, to how excited you are about what you're now building and starting.
And as our favorite, your favorite saying, and it's one of mine too, is it's a no-brainer. I mean, I was in sales in one way or form, selling cars and making a commission, selling finance products in a dealership, making a commission, selling a dealer services and making a commission. But the old saying in the car business, the last day of the month to the first day of the month, you go from hero to zero, and you start completely over. And in this industry, you go out here and you sell something today, it's going to pay you for years and years, for forever, as long as that merchant stays your customer and stays in business and doesn't leave you. But you're not just selling something and getting a commission, and then you've got to do it all over again next month.
Yeah, and we have the mentality, and you plug into all the meetings. We're going to talk about support and meetings and stuff like that, but we have the mentality that every day we wake up, it's zero. Doesn't matter how many you did or didn't do yesterday, how many did or didn't do yesterday, last month, last year. We have that mentality because that's what keeps you going.
Yeah.
But the truth is, you're as good as all the sales you've ever made because financially you are compensated for them. So in order to keep our mind right, to keep producing, we act like the score is 0, but it really is whatever, all those other, baskets that you shot and all the touchdowns you threw from all your years of doing this, they do count because you're still getting paid on them, man. It is it's the craziest thing ever.
It's
I know
beautiful. It's just beautiful.
Such a cool story, man. It's so crazy. So what brought you, because let's be honest with everybody that's on here, you were in the industry for maybe a couple of months before you officially jumped on with Easy Pay. We don't need all the details of it. But you reached out to me, you responded to some of my stuff, and you're like, I want to be with Easy Pay. So what was it about Easy Pay in particular? We know the industry is amazing, residuals, it can change people's lives. As a whole, the whole industry can do that. There's 1,000 companies out there. Why were you dead set on making us your home?
Just the culture, the what you're doing and the culture of the company. And and I won't go into a lot, but I was very, very, very briefly involved with before I came to you, very short period of time, and had a little bit of success, not knowing what I was doing. And that was the biggest thing, is what you're doing and putting out what you're putting to us and plugging in and all the stuff you put out there. What little bit of time I had with the other company I started with, which was a very, very happy, very good people.
Yeah.
But they nowhere near the culture and the training and what you're doing here. That's why I wanted to come to Easy Pay, and it's it's night and day, and I can't imagine there's any other. This has got to be the place to be if you're going to be in this business. There's no doubt in my mind.
So I'm gonna kind of spot check myself right here and see, how my messaging has rubbed off on the people that are actually with Easy Pay. If you had to, in your own words, describe our company goal, what would you say Easy Pay's company goal is? And this is kind of me to kind of check my messaging to you guys.
To change our life. The way I view what you've done, or the way I perceive it, is you've worked your tail off and built what you built, and you're giving back, and you want to help other people achieve freedom and have, achieve success and enjoy your life and have financial freedom. And it definitely is obvious that's what you're doing. You're here to help anyone that wants the help and will listen achieve financial freedom and a healthy lifestyle, and just the whole culture of the whole thing of changing your life, not just financially, in everything. It's just I don't quite know how to explain it any better than that. Maybe it's not very clear, but
that's exactly it. So I'm just, like I said right at the beginning of it, like just to kind of spot check myself, that's what it's about. I mean, financial freedom, we're a merchant sales company, no doubt. That's what we're teaching, that's what we're training, that's what we want people to do. Financial freedom is just the base layer of what we're actually trying to help accomplish, which is be the best that you can be, right? It's in a lot of the emails that go out. If you do not want to grow in life, Easy Pay is not the company for you. So messaging is working. I appreciate that. You've taken it in. So let's talk about kind of the support and training, right? Because I get a lot of emails. Obviously, my goal of creating content is to help people be successful in the industry. And at the end of the day, let's be honest, I'm also trying to recruit people, right? Like, I want to bring people in, but if they don't want to work with us, that's okay. They can still go and watch, the YouTube and get that content. That's what I put it out there for. But I get a lot of emails of people that, they're kind of fine where they're at, but they're very appreciative and they are getting tips that have helped them. So what would you say the difference is between just accessing videos that are available online and actually the support and the meetings and the live trainings and access to us like live in person? Is there a difference?
Oh, yeah, night and day. I mean, like, the meetings that we have 3 days a week. I just literally every meeting. I learn something new. I mean, literally what you talk about and what we go over in our meetings 3 days a week, I literally walk out in the field that day and experience that. Like I run into whatever something we've talked about, and I know so I know how to handle it, or and I can't stress how important it is to plug in to those meetings, because you just learn something every meeting new, and how to handle different situations. And it's just they're very, very helpful. So the training is constant, and you just learn, because, I've never been in this business. I don't know anything about it. I'm learning every day.
You're
And
learning as you're learning as you go, and we
as I
encourage
go.
like
And
we throw people to the wolves or like to the lions, right? Like we
yeah,
know you don't know. Get out there. We're throwing you to the lions on purpose, but people like you actually utilize us, right? We tell people, call us. You're gonna have questions you don't know the answer to.
yeah,
In life, you learn by doing, by falling, but we're right here to help you out if you pick your phone up, right? We're not gonna
yeah.
babysit, but we're
And
here
that's
for you. So talk about that
definitely,
support from Nick, from me, or whoever you're
yeah.
contact, and talk about that, like from the field. How has that helped you? How has that been?
Yeah, I mean, I wear you. I feel like I'm wearing you guys out,
Oh,
but like you say, you're not. We want you calling us. If you're out there, we want to support you. And the more I'm out there, I'm constantly calling you or Nick. Hey, this is what I got. This is a situation I got, or I'm in front of a merchant, and you guys are just. It's just great to have that support. And it helps tremendously.
perfect. What's the do you have anything that stands out the most, like a favorite lesson, a favorite something, even if it wasn't merchant services, just something that got you fired up? Do you have any one liner, like anything that just sticks out? Kind of an oddball question, but you've literally plugged in every day since you've been here.
Yeah,
So
if
what
I was
sticks
going to
out?
say, if I was going to say anything that's really stood out, not one specific thing, but the one thing I've learned is to follow, the 28-day course. That thing is just like gold. And if I've learned anything in the short time I've been doing this, if you just go out there and just stick to the fundamentals of what you put out there in that course and do it, just don't be afraid to walk in the doors. And I'll be the first to admit, it's hard to do. I can walk into a car dealer who's worth $100 million and talk to him, no problem. But walking in every door of every business in the very, very, like last week, literally is kind of my first week out here doing it. It was hard, but just sticking to what you teach and sticking to those fundamentals, and stick to your pitch book and go through it with every single customer and every door. It just starts working. It works. It gets easier every time you do it.
Awesome.
It's not, this is not an easy industry to be in, and I know it's not easy, but literally just doing it and walking in every door, it's getting easier every day to get through it smoothly and confidently, and it's starting to work. It just works. It's obvious.
That's so good to hear. And just
Yeah,
like even in the intro of the course, day one for sure, just to put it out there. I mean, everyone in the world, maybe not everyone, but the majority of people are looking for this shortcut, right? Everyone wants that get skinny pill that they could just take and not have to go to the gym and not have to lift weights and not have to change their lifestyle. And everyone wants this just shortcut, right? And I'm really freaking upfront and really direct. Like, dude, this 28-day course isn't going to just do the work for you.
no,
It's not even a secret sauce. Like, I got a ton of good stuff and liners and teach, a lot of positive things that are going to help you blow up your business. But at the end of the day, it's no secret sauce. It's exactly what you just said. It's fundamental stuff. The basic fundamentals are what the most successful people in the world do. Like I tell my son all the time, like Michael Jordan wasn't out there practicing slam dunking from the free throw line, right? Like everyone knows that. It's on his icon for Air Jordan, but that's not what he did on a daily basis. He's dribbling, he's passing, he's shooting free throws, right? Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, they're not practicing throwing Hail Marys. They're practicing fundamentals, and sales, whether it's car sales, merchant sales, is no different once you know those. So maybe it's not as sexy as people hope that it will be, but it's the God honest truth. And you just hit the nail on the head. That's what the course is for. It is the fundamentals that if you master those and execute those, then you just get better and better. And the goal is, like you said, as you keep practicing, there's that, you've probably heard this a million times, the Larry Bird commercial. I think he was shooting a 7-Up commercial back in the day, and he's shooting 3-pointers, and they needed him to miss for the commercial. And the guy couldn't miss. I can't remember the number. It was crazy. It was like 20, 25 in a row that he made, and he was just programmed. And that's what we're talking about. The fundamentals are so ingrained that it just becomes just like anything. So,
but the two things, and I'll say this, Joe, the two things that maybe have stood out the most to what you have taught us or are teaching us is one thing you said one time, one of the first testimonial calls I was ever on, the hardest door to open is the car door. And that is the truest. Now, when you get out there to do this, mentally, that is the hardest thing to do, is just to go out there and go in every door. And once you get over that hurdle, and I'm doing that now, it works. If you start picking and choosing, literally, I first started literally a week ago. I mean, I found myself driving by 10 businesses. I'll start down here on this end of the street, making excuses. Well, that's not a place I need to. I was skipping doors and not doing it, and not doing anything. So literally this week, I had a come to Jesus meeting with myself. Last week I said, you know what, Jim, you got to get out here and do this and do it right.
Yeah,
I'm doing it right this week, and I've signed 3 deals. I mean,
what were your deals, out of curiosity? So this is definitely not on my list. I don't even have much, kind of free ball in here at this point, but what were the deals you signed? Monthly fee? You got $100. I got
two $200 ones and a $25 one.
Okay. Yeah. So mathematically, anybody that's on here, you're probably already with, there a lot of people are here with the Easy Pay. A lot of people are checking them out. If you're interested in like the commission structure, you can schedule a call with us. We'll go over that. But I want to point out, like, you can make a living doing this. Like right now with the numbers that you just said, if you did that, that's only 3 deals. If you did that every single week for a month, that's 12 deals a month. Your residuals are growing very good at that rate. And the amount of commissions you made this week, that's a good month, right? Like you can make a living once you figure out how to get out there and do this, correct?
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. It's just doing it. And it's just so blatantly obvious to me. Like I said, the more you do it, like this week, it's like been an epiphany. Like as I'm doing it and doing it right, it's just getting easier as far as doing the fundamentals, and then it's just a numbers game, like you say. If you just do it the same way every day and stick to it, it just happens. It's going to happen, and you're going to get deals, and you're going to get better, and you're just going to keep growing. And I can just see how it snowballs. It's very obvious.
And we want to see you making a good upfront living. And the reason I bring that up, there's a lot of people come in and they treat it like a hobby. They want to treat it like a business, but they kind of keep their side thing going or their job. And I get it, right? It's kind of a catch-22. They see the risk more than the reward. And I don't tell people, hey, quit your job, right? That's not my, if somebody's not going to do that, it's not my business to tell someone to do that. But the truth is, the people that go all in and crack the code and can make this work, that fear of like making a living, they don't even realize that a lot of people hasn't dawned on them how much we're making. Like people that can go out and produce, like you said, if you hit just what you hit in the last 2 days, if that was every week, you'd be making almost 10 grand a month.
Yeah.
That's good money. Not to mention at 12 deals a month, you're getting really healthy bumps every single.
You're getting a raise every day, and the great thing about it is, and you're working for yourself, you're growing your own business, and a seasoned veteran in the car business told me years ago, and I've never forgot it. Don't be at the bottom line of someone else's bottom line. When you work for someone, you're at the bottom line of their bottom line. This is your own business. You can give yourself a raise every day. You write your own paycheck, literally.
Absolutely.
you know,
So let's
and
let's let's go off of that, because I talk and preach about, like, we don't want sales reps, right? Like, I'll tell everyone right on here, we don't want sales reps. If you're just looking for a job, or like you're trying to make a couple bucks, like, there's a million other merchant sales companies. That's not what we're about. We are looking for business partners that are looking at this exactly how Jim just said. Jim's his own boss. Jim's building his own business. We're simply a partner of Jim's, that if he goes out there and does what he needs to do, which is put himself in a position to win, which means go to work and do the fundamentals, our job and our part of the partnership is to be there to support him, to coach him, to answer the calls, to provide the systems, the marketing, the training, the coaching, even the motivation, right? Monday,
yeah.
Wednesday, Friday calls that we have as a company. So it's a partnership. Have you felt that way with us the whole way through? Like, we're not out babysitting anybody, but if you're here plugging in, we're there
Oh,
every
most definitely. I mean, it's yes. I mean, it, uh, you, you all have you're there. I mean, no matter the support is phenomenal. I don't know how better way to put it, but I feel like I'm a partner, not an employee for sure. And we're growing a business together, and but it's a business, and it's obvious that you can really. There's no better opportunity that I've ever seen or ran across ever. I wish I'd have known about this 10 years ago. uh, I would be where you're at right now, and
10 years ago, man, you had to sign 100 deals to grow your
well,
deals. What takes like
yeah,
8 or 9 or 10 deals now, man. Like,
yeah, yeah,
I hear what you're saying, but for all of you that, every now and then that goes through people's mind, like, oh man, I wish I would have known about this. And I hear what you're saying, and that makes sense.
yeah,
One, there's nothing we could do about that. Two, there's actually never been a better time than now, and there won't be. I'm not just saying that in videos, folks. There will never be a better opportunity in this industry,
yeah,
right? Like, cash discounting came, our profits went up by like 5 to 10 times. We can walk in, not just save people a fraction of their bill and compare pennies to nickels, and 3% to 2.8%. Like, we used to just shave off a little. Now we go and we're like, I don't need your bill. We can just get rid of it. Like, it's never been easier to sell and explain it. It's never been easier to help people at this scale. The timing in the world has never been better, between the cost of everything going up, aka inflation, which has caused profits to go down. A lot of states, there's a lot of closures and businesses are struggling. So when things like that happen in the economy, it's, if you're selling a service that businesses already have, you can give them a better customer service experience for a lower price. That's always been my secret in sales, is they've already got it. I'll give you a better experience for less money. Okay, cash discounting hits all those things like the nail on the head times 100, because our profitability also went up so much as well. So yeah, it really is the opportunity of a lifetime. So it's the perfect time for you to be in here, Jim, and getting started knocking down deals. Last question for you. We're right here at 30 minutes. You've got experience in sales in general. You've been successful. Nobody stays in sales for 30 years. That's not a successful individual. You got into financing, which is, I know it's a really tough aspect of cars. So just in general, somebody that's been around the block and had success and seen different products and, put in the amount of work that you have, what bit of advice would you give to people that are on here that are really looking to, just get their life to the next level and invest their time wisely into something that is going to benefit them long term? What would your advice to them be?
oh, definitely give this a shot, but you've got to go into it with treating it like a business and putting hard work into it. And again, I'm not a veteran by any means, and I'm very new at this, but it is all very evident. I'm already seeing that if you put the time and effort into this and learn the fundamentals that you teach in your course, and just apply it and plug into what you do and become part of the culture of Easy Pay and do it all, I can just see that you will be, in a relatively short period of time, on the way to financial freedom, a better lifestyle, just to change your life. And in the short time I've been doing that,
Mhm.
it's very obvious that that's what's going to happen if you do it. And you just plug in, do it, and work. It will work. You know.
Great advice. And I appreciate the compliment. And, you know, it's what you just talked about is it's just vision, right? You don't have to be a vet here to have the vision and see what's going on here, to like just look ahead, right? Like I talk about in my book, it's just math. It's literally math. If every sale I make residual, I'm going to make sales, time's going to go by, I'm going to be free, right? You don't have to be a vet to understand that. That's just called vision. And you're on the inside fast track, seeing the meetings, seeing the culture, seeing the motivation. So for you to see how that all plugs in together, right? You don't have to be around for 5 years to, you know, say that's going to happen, right? It's called vision, right? So I appreciate the vision that you have and the compliments and the feedback that you just gave everybody. I know everybody got a lot of good notes, and I respect, you know, your experience as a salesperson and all the compliments and everything. I appreciate having you. And let's go get some more, man. Let's finish the week off strong.
Yep, we will.
Awesome, Jim.
All
Thanks for your time here. So I'm going to turn your camera off. I will keep the call going, but I'll just shoot this one off. Thanks, Jim.
Thank you, Joe.
Yep. All right, guys. So there you go. So you got Jim Mullins there sharing his feedback. I hope you guys got something out of that from somebody that's been around the block in sales. Vision. You know, I'm going to kind of piggyback off what he just went. You know, one of the key aspects, we're all into sports here. We love football. You know, and I think about, when I think about vision, I think about quarterbacks, right? So a quarterback has to have the skill, and this is probably applicable to most sports, but I'm going to use quarterbacks, where they have to have the vision to know to throw the ball where the receiver is not, right? Unless it's like a post-up route and they turn around. But most routes, you know, the quarterback has to throw the ball to where the receiver is not, because they know the routes. They have the vision on what's going on. They can see all the movement going around, and they throw the ball to where it's going to need to be, not where the receiver is right now. And that's kind of how I look at vision. You've got to look at what's going on, you know. So if you're in Easy Pay, you're looking at the culture. That's a lot of the moving pieces. You know, if I produce, you know, this is going to happen. You see what's going on with the economy and how much business owners need this. And you kind of put all those things together, and hopefully you have the vision to see what direction and where you need to be going. And I hope that Easy Pay is a home for you to do that. If you're not with us already, you know, obviously you're invited to schedule a call with us if you want to get in and get the kind of support that Jim is talking about. And I just pray that you guys have the vision to see what's going on, put yourself in a position to win, because time's going to go by either way, right? Time is like that receiver running the route. Okay. If you wait too long to throw the ball to where that receiver is going, if you wait too long, you're going to miss him. He's already going to be gone. It'll be an incomplete pass, opportunity missed. And this is right now on the clock. We just put a video out a couple days ago about the 5 stages of cash discounting. Okay. The wide receiver is in motion. You're the quarterback. You've got the ball. Ain't nobody else going to throw that ball for you. Ain't nobody else going to get that ball into the end zone but you. You are the quarterback of your life. So have some vision, pay attention to what's going on. For those of you that are in Easy Pay, we have a ton of movement going on right now. If you're not plugging into morning meetings, you're not getting the information. You're not going to know how to call an audible. You're not even going to know all the game plan and all the playbook. Okay. Plug in. For those of you that are not with us, but you would love to schedule a call to see if this makes sense for you, please go to our easydirectsales.com site. As soon as there's a little video there, watch it, input your information. It'll take you right to our schedule. So you can schedule a call with us if you're looking for that kind of support. And I'm just going to wrap it up with, we're not trying to be the average company. There's 1,000 merchant service companies out there. If you just want to be another sales rep, you know, go find another company. If you really want to be a business partner, you want to treat this like a business, you want to utilize the live support training, the information content, the pitch book, the 28-day course. Like, there's so much going on here that is not going to do the work for you, but it can help put you in the fast track. If you're willing to use it like a real entrepreneur, plug in and go out there, treat this like a business, then that's who we want to talk with. That's who I personally want to work with. Our goal is not to bring everybody on. Okay. We don't want to be the biggest merchant sales company out there. That goal of mine went away a long time ago when it turned into a babysitting job. My job is to now find entrepreneurs that want to build a business, and we want to be your business partner if that's you. So easydirectsales.com, go schedule a call. Jim Mullins, congratulations. 3 deals in the last 48 hours. On his first week, he said himself that he's actually following the fundamentals. That's what's happening here. Our flip rate is 10 times what the industry is of people that come in, go out there and do the work, are seeing success. I hope that's you. And if you have not been on this call yet, that should be your goal. Next Thursday, you should be on this testimonial call. Folks, schedule a call. We'll see you at the top. Have a good night.